Hello everybody, hi. It's me, the usual. How's everyone doing tonight? We're down for more Ace Attorney, more Miles Edgeworth investigations, so it'll be a good time. Ugh. I actually need to stand my desk up. I didn't do that yet. Well, yeah, the mic's gonna pick up desk noises. One sec. I forgot to mute my mic. I missed the mute button. You're just hearing this now. Congrats? Alright. Anyway. Setup before my stream? I think not, chat. I think I'll do it right at the beginning, like a dip. I hope everyone's doing well. But yeah, no. It's Monday. It's Ace Attorney. It's what we do. Do I stand while streaming? I stand for Ace Attorney streams, usually. Well, like, what I do, right, is for the original trilogy, I stood in court. But since this doesn't really have a court structure you go to, I just sort of end up standing the entire time. Which is why these ones tend to not go on as long as the others used to. But you know. Let's just fade that out. Put it away. And get ready to go, shall we? Warstriker, thank you for the 5 months, I appreciate it. You have a mighty need for Swiss rolls? Nice. And I mean, this one we are in court. This one we actually ended up in the courtroom. So, like, I definitely have to stand. Absolutely have to stand. For this one, at least. Apparently. Ugh, I don't have a lot of space. What I need is an office for this shit, man. It's like, I don't have much space. Who knows? Maybe next place we move. We'll see. September 10th, 6:15 p.m. District Court, Courtroom number 3. Okay. What are you doing here? Oh, hello, mister. I'm still investigating. But the object you're looking for is already... Okay. Don't mind him. Please continue with your investigation. Okay, you got it. Detective Bat, haven't we already found what you're looking for? If it means I can keep her in the dark just a little longer, any little task will do. Oh, you're more sympathetic than I thought. I've been waiting for you, Edgeworth. I've also been waiting for the moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest. The moment in which we can finally lay this case to rest? Oh, wasn't that when we placed Detective Gumshoe under arrest? I think we've more solved this case already. Don't you? We'll see. It all depends on whether or not your logic holds. Oh, I see we even have a viewer in the gallery. And why? Even Mr. Bad is here. A viewer? In the gallery? I'm hardly just a bystander. I have a duty. To see this case through to the end. No matter how it turns out. Oh, is that right? Anyway, I thought you might like to hear what I've slaved away to find out. I've taken statements on every single person's movements. During the time when our suspect was in the hallway, I also confirmed that there is no possible route of escape from lobby number 2. Therefore, the killer must, without a doubt, be Detective Gumshoe. And that's all you have? Yeah, that's all there is to my conclusion, and this case. Sorry, but I beg to differ. In a trial, there's always time for a rebuttal, and we are standing in a court of law. It'd be more than appropriate to follow the rules of court in this case, don't you think? Oh, how absolutely like a rookie to think such a thing. But alright, I'll play along and give you a proper testimony. If my logic is correct, then I've already won. All I have to do now is just prove it, by showing who the real killer is. Everyone, sans the suspect, has an alibi for when the gun went off. Furthermore, the areas around the crime scene have all been thoroughly investigated, right? I also confirmed that there's no possible escape route from lobby number 2, which leaves us with one unshakable conclusion, that Detective Gumshoe is the killer. Whew, alright. Now that you have your testimony, I expect a good rebuttal, Edgeworth. But of course. There's no need to confront her logic head-on right now. I should instead focus on drawing out any trump cards she has up her sleeve. How can she talk clear? You're right. I should have covered my mouth. Oh well. Alright, an alibi for when the gun went off. Let's talk about it. The suspect. But I thought that Detective Gumshoe's alibi had already been proven. Are you joking, Edgeworth? I assure you this is no joke. Look, I know you heard from the judge earlier that the detective was in the hallway with Mr. Faraday's daughter eating a Swiss roll. Yes, that is correct. But see, that was 20 minutes before the real gunshot went off, right? And the problem is there's no one else who can corroborate what he did since the snacking. I see she's done her research well. Which means that I should focus on drawing out whatever trump card she's withholding. Okay, let's talk about it. We're just gonna talk about it. Whether they've been thoroughly investigated or not is for me to decide. The scrunched eyebrows and lines on your forehead are back. Anyway, even if you believe it hasn't been exhaustive, the crime scene, lobby number 2, it has no way other out than the hallway Detective Gumshoe was standing in. And because he claimed to be there, that makes him the only possible suspect. But isn't it also possible that someone escaped through a window and into the garden? Oh, that's the first place everyone looked, silly! The police aren't a bunch of lazy bums. They looked into every possibility, you know. Isn't that right, Mr. Bad? Yeah. There wasn't a scrap of evidence to suggest someone used one of the windows. There also weren't any footprints or anything. The courtyard garden... I suppose they really did check everything that could be relevant to the case. Are you absolutely positive that there was no possible routes of escape? Of course I'm sure. And why are you so certain? This is a courthouse, the place where criminals are brought to be judged. If there was an escape route, I'm sure every criminal would be using it to escape. It's just common sense. Miles Edgeworth, I suggest you use a bit more of it in the future. Ugh.
Hold it!
You may think it's unshakable, but to me there are still too many unanswered questions. For example, who was it that placed the gun in Mr. Faraday's hand? But you're the only one still wondering that! Detective Gumshoe probably had no idea which hand Mr. Faraday used to write with. Even if you know someone, it doesn't mean you'll know which hand they write with, right? I mean, I certainly don't care about that sort of thing. I'm not about to let her get a rise out of me with such a flippant statement. I suppose we've really reached the end now. I already have my trump card ready. All that remains is to play it. But before I do, I think I should inquire into a little something about her argument. You said earlier that you confirmed the alibis of every person other than the suspect. However, I don't recall either Francisca or myself speaking with you about the subject. But there were witnesses. For you, there is your mentor who gave an alibi. I see. As for the little Missy, she came to the courthouse during the recess and was stopped by a security guard at the door to the hallway. She gave him quite a whipping for that, or so I heard. I'm the daughter of Manfred von Karma, and I will not be forcibly stopped by a guard or a bailiff or anyone else. So basically, the only reason Francisca bothered to show up today was because she found out that I was to be a replacement prosecutor. By the way, Miss Yu, what about everyone's alibis before Detective Gumshoe was assigned to guard duty? What about them? Have you looked into what people were doing during that span of time? What kind of idiot do you take me for? It doesn't matter when the killer went into lobby number 2. From the time we heard the gunshot to the time Mr. Bad and I arrived on the scene as we dashed from lobby number 1, the only person who could have committed the crime was Detective Gumshoe. Yes, let's talk about when you and Detective Bad heard that gunshot, shall we? I suppose that if we go by your logic, then Detective Gumshoe is the only one. However, what if the crime had occurred at an entirely different time than when that gunshot you heard went off? What then? That gunshot was a trap meant to manipulate our perception. Sadly, your explanation is very lacking, Edgeworth. The gunshot we heard in lobby number 1. Care to explain how that could have been fabricated? Bitch, I can. Yeah, that's fair. We did hold court to see if you had drip or not. And court decided after 2 voting sessions that CCU, in fact, had drip. So, it has been stated such. Anyway, I gotta try it again. Take that! Nope. It was worth a shot.
Take that!
That tape? Yes, it's exactly what you think it is. This is the surveillance tape of Mr. Rell, the prosecution present in today's trial. This was found loaded into the video player in lobby number 2. That was connected to the large television that had its volume turned all the way up. You can't honestly mean that sound we heard was the gunshot in the video? Ah, but I do. Which leads me to my next point. The murders occurred much earlier than anyone heard the gunshot. That's the only thing I can think of, too. After committing double homicide, the killer took the surveillance video out from Mr. Faraday's evidence bin, turned the television's volume all the way up, and left the video to play. If played from the beginning, it would take 30 minutes for the gunshot sound to come on. And since we now know that this method of time manipulation is possible, it opens up the possibility that the killer is someone other than Detective Gumshoe. Sounds from a television doesn't amount to much here. But of course, Mr. Prosecutor Edgeworth and Little Miss Von Karma already knew that much from the very beginning, right? Of course we knew. Didn't we, Miles? Yes, of course. We know about the soundproof quality of this courthouse's rooms. Of course, I'm not about to admit we had no idea until only a little while ago. That's right. And if the rooms are soundproof, then we should not have been able to hear it. And yet, we heard the gunshot clear as day. And? That's it. End of story. But it's not. Alright. The window was open. I mean, she just has a lower, huskier voice. Lots of women have that kind of voice. There is actually one common point between lobby number 1 and lobby number 2. And it's that despite the fact that both rooms have air conditioners installed, a window is open in each. Now, we know that the window in lobby number 2 was opened by the killer. However, a window in lobby number 1 was also opened.
Objection!
It's probably just coincidence that they were both open at the same time.
Objection!
It was no mere coincidence, I assure you. Why was the window open in lobby number 1? The answer to that is a certain person did something to cause the window to be opened. And that person who triggered that action, that person is the real guilty party. The real killer in this double murder is... It's you, Miss Yu. Take that! Miss Callisto Yu! I hereby formally indict you of the murder of Mr. Faraday and Mr. Rel. What? You indict me? Are you serious, Miles? Why do you think she's the killer? I don't understand her motive just yet, but of course I'm serious. Because she is the only one who could have done it. Well, Miss Yu, do you still feel like laughing now? Of course I do, Edgeworth. My argument must not be tight enough yet. Although I never thought things would spiral into this. But I'll have you know, I'm enjoying this dance. Quite a bit. I guess this means it's time for my own rebuttal now, right? Come at me, bitch. You argue that the window was open. However, do you have proof that it was I who did that? Furthermore, do you have proof that the tape was used in committing the crime? Frankly, I'm shocked at you for going around accusing people of murder like this. Especially with logic as full of holes as yours. This is where it really starts. I mustn't let my guard down for even a second, or the truth will blow away. Now's the time to put the patented Von Karma perfect proof to the test. Sorry, drinking some water. Indict, whoops. I've only really read that word. Alright. Let's talk about it. Evidence. All I'd need to do is have some prints analyzed and we'd know straight away. Be my guest. She sounds as though she has the room to maneuver. Which means... even if we were to lift prints, they'd only show that it was someone else. But why that someone else was forced to open the window? That's simple logic. Why don't I try presenting that piece of evidence? I have nothing to lose. What's wrong? The scrunched eyebrows, lines on your forehead? They're all back! More importantly, are you going to be okay not running a fingerprint analysis? Yes, I'll be fine. Oh, well, in that case, I'll just continue with my testimony, alright? What have you missed? Not too much. We had one rebuttal so far. I like how epitome is pronounced epitome, not epitome. I know him but you. Oh, okay. Gotcha. I got distracted. Yeah, let's talk about it. I thought I just proved that it was. Sure, you proved that the tape was there at the scene of the crime. However, that doesn't prove that it was actually used in said crime. Unfortunately for you, Monsieur, the fact that the tape was there in the crime scene is in itself very important. How so? By the very existence of that tape at the crime scene, it proves the possibility that the when of the crime could have been fabricated. And that possibility alone renders all alibis and witness reports irrelevant. Basically, it means that we will need to re-examine every person's movements again. Whether the tape was used in the crime or not, that we can re-evaluate afterward. So, in conclusion, you're admitting that you can't prove that it was at this point. Oh yeah, you're shocked?
Hold it!
Even if you're shocked, that is of no concern to me. I do things my own way. Oh. I see that you're not laughing for a change. Because I'm shocked. Again, you being shocked is of no concern to me. Let us continue with the testimony. Alright, but let me say just one thing. You shouldn't go around accusing people.
Hold it!
Full of holes? Well, I suppose it might be. Oh, admitting to your faults now, are we? At this point in time, is what I meant to say. Should I take that to mean that you're just a sore loser? No matter how full of holes my logic may be right now, if I plug them up, one at a time, I will ultimately make my way to the truth. What a paradox. Take care to not fall in one of those holes before you fill it up. Miles, you remember, don't you? About why window in lobby number 1 was open? Yes, of course I do. And that's how I'll attack. I'll present the reason why the window had to be open. Alright, yeah. Let's... It was you, actually. Or more, your perfume. Objection!
Objection!
I'm sure you've seen this before, haven't you, Miss Yu? Edgeworth, I never knew you were into wearing that kind of perfume. It's not exactly what I'd recommend for boys, you know. This isn't mine. That's right, it's mine, and I received it from Detective Bad, you see. Miss Yu, you can pretend all you like, but we know at least this much for sure. That this bottle of perfume was given to Detective Bad by you. Because it gets really strong really fast. So, what about the perfume? While you were in lobby number 1, you made a big show of spilling some of this perfume. That's according to Detective Bad. Oh, I know. You also know that if you spilled it, you would naturally move to open a window.
Objection!
Come now, I've already told you that it's all just a big coincidence. After we opened the window in lobby number 1, I just left it open, you know? So maybe it was just dumb luck that we heard the gunshot through the window.
Objection!
The timing of when you were going to spill the perfume is something you could control. And the most important fact about this case is when people were made to hear the shot. Furthermore, it would have been pointless if you didn't have an alibi for yourself at the time. You mean... Miss Yu, you the one who called Detective Bad in lobby number 1. When you saw him bring Detective Gumshoe into the hallway, is that correct? All of today's premeditated events could have only been thought up by you, Miss Yu. You accuse me of murder on the fact that I spilled a little perfume. Well, allow me to say this much. I couldn't have killed Mr. Faraday. Would you care to testify as to why? Look, I've had a lot of fun today, really. But I grow weary of this game of cat and mouse. Let's make this the last testimony and wrap up this absurd case, once and for all. Accusing someone of murder over spilled bottled perfume is a bit over the top. But I suppose forgery of evidence is to be expected of a disciple of Von Karma. In any case, it simply could have not been me who killed Mr. Faraday. After all, I don't even know where the knife that was used to kill him came from. Miles, her testimony, it's flawless.
Yes, but no matter what sort of trick she may try to pull, she won't escape me. And if I'm lacking in information, I'll just draw it out of her.
We're just gonna press it all.
I think I already explained the significance of that earlier.
You only confirmed that I did spill some perfume. But that's all. That you would accuse me of murder based on a simple spill... Don't you dare complain when I sue you for defamation of character.
Do as you like. But as for me, I believe...
You believe?
I believe that you are the true culprit in this case.
Wow, you are enthusiastic. Of course, I should have guessed.
Hold it!
I formally request that you desist in your attack against my mentor.
Yes, or we'll sue you for defamation. All I'm doing is telling the truth. Well, maybe more like spreading gossip. Although, your adamant denials are, shall we say, just adding fuel to the fire.
How dare you!
Say such a thing!
Ugh. Calm down, little girl. Don't let her get to you.
Huh? Oh yeah, I banned the word lion. I forgot about that. Why'd you have to ruin my fun? Well, shall I continue? Circus case? No, it wasn't the circus case. Someone brought up one of the arguments. Someone brought up the Pokemon versus a million lions, and we had to ban the word lion. We're not going into that.
Hold it!
Rushell, feel free to go ape shit. You have my permission.
And why exactly could you not have killed him?
I was just about to testify to that. You're such an impatient man. I'm not really into that, you know, Hedgeworth.
Your preferences have no bearing on what is at hand.
Feeling a little uncomfortable, are we?
Objection!
Miss Yu, you'll detest in this tomfoolery and return to your testimony. And Miles, if you're going to lose your cool, then I won't show you any mercy.
Sorry. Miss you, please continue with your testimony.
Sure. I was saying I couldn't have possibly killed Mr. Faraday.
Hold it!
At this rate, she'll inevitably escape. But if she really was the one who killed Mr. Faraday, then she must have known about the existence of the knife. I'm sorry, Miss Yu. Maybe you weren't aware. However, the knife that was used to kill Mr. Faraday was taken from his evidence bag.
Miles, you think you're doing?
I'm drawing the truth out of her. That's what I'm doing.
Huh? But I don't recall a knife being presented at the trial earlier today.
Well, I suppose that's because the evidence was something Mr. Faraday had yet to use.
So that's what you're trying to do? Look, why don't you cut it out with the lies? I've already figured you out. There was no knife inside Mr. Faraday's evidence bag. The only evidence he had yet to present was the key the Yatagarasu had sent. And unless that key can magically turn into a knife, you really don't have a leg to stand on. Do you really think you could trap me? Come now, be honest.
I never intended to do such a thing. It was all a misunderstanding on my part. In any case, I wonder if you might append what you just said to your testimony.
Sure, why not? I'll even say it as many times as you like. There was a key in his evidence bag, but you can't kill anyone with a simple key. Now that's a lie, but, that's a lie because you totally can kill someone with a key. You know, it does the thing. It does that whole thing where it, flips out. It's like a transformer.
Miss you, I wonder if you might take a look at this photo for me. This is a picture of the key that Yatagarasu sent to the police. However, while it may look like a key at first glance, it, in fact, has the secret ability to transform into a knife. Which means that what was inside Mr. Faraday's bag was both the Yatagarasu's key and the murderous knife. You knew that the key was inside Mr. Faraday's bag, did you not?
Yes.
Well, with the Yatagarasu's key alone, it is more than possible to kill Mr. Faraday. Do you understand now? Just knowing of the existence of the Yatagar...
I still haven't had a good look at it. Showing it to me from that far away, you could be lying for all I know.
You would, even now, still feign ignorance.
I'm not feigning anything! But we can't have you accusing me of a crime with false evidence now, can we? I mean, Mr. Von Karma, I've heard some very interesting rumors about him. Are you mocking my papa?
Don't you dare sully the good name of my mentor. Now take a good look. This piece of evidence is more than real.
Oh, who knew there was such a trick to this thing?
Are you satisfied now? But of course, you knew from the very beginning, didn't you? You knew that the knife and the Yatagarasu's key are one and the same. Otherwise, someone like you who isn't a member of law enforcement and who would never have been privy to this trick would have never had known about it to begin with. Furthermore, there's something that the Yatagarasu sent to the police. How did you have knowledge as to what it was?
Actually, I heard it from Mr. Faraday. Just before he dragged Mr. Rell off, he told me. Oh, that's right, I almost forgot. He also told me about the key turning into a knife at that time. But he didn't tell me about how the key actually transforms.
What you're saying is simply not possible.
Oh, and why not?
Because Mr. Faraday himself didn't know about the hidden knife within the key. For within these pages, he mentions nothing about a knife.
I'm not sure he would have written everything in his organizer, you know? Wouldn't something of this importance be better left to oral communication?
Unfortunately, that is also impossible. Because Detective Bad didn't know about the knife aspect either. What would have been highly classified information, even within the police force, and is something that even the lead detective on this case didn't know. Why would Mr. Faraday have felt the need to share such information with the opposition?
Yeah, I guess you would have... You wouldn't have much of a reason to. Looks like I gave a pretty lame excuse, huh?
How can you laugh at a time like this?
She probably just realized the flaw in her logic and is actually in a panic over it. But that's not something we need to concern ourselves with.
I suppose you're right. Miss you, I'd like to state that I also know how you knew the real nature of the knife.
Do you now? Well, why don't you put your money in your mouth, where your mouth is, and show me?
Oh, I will. And I'll wipe that smile off your face by the time we're through. This is it. The moment of truth. The secret behind the Yatagarasu's key. Only one person would have had the knowledge of it from the get-go. Who would know from the start that the Yatagarasu's key could change into a knife?
I mean the Yatagarasu. Right? This isn't some trick question, is it? Yeah, no, okay, no, I'm overthinking it. It's absolutely the Yatagarasu.
Take that!
Take that!
There's only one person who would have known about the dual nature of the key.
And that is...
And that is the person who sent the Yatagarasu's key to the police. That is to say, the Yatagarasu herself.
You're saying that this lawyer is the great thief Yatagarasu?
Miss you. You used Mr. Rel to lure Mr. Faraday into a trap, didn't you? You, who profess to bear a grudge against criminals. Why? Why do something like this?
Who would have thought that you, a stupid rookie prosecutor, would see through me? You're sending the biggest chill down my spine right now, Edgeworth. This feeling of thrill. It's even greater than when I sneak into someplace.
You killed Faraday? Why? Answer me! Callisto, you!
Callisto, you, huh? That's not my real name. Because my real identity is, yes, the great thief Yatagarasu. Let me tell you something, Edgeworth. Mr. Faraday was one difficult man to deal with. But you see, he had discovered my true identity, which is why I had to erase him from the world of law. I made Rel an offer, an acquittal, for a little return in favor. All he had to do was accuse Mr. Faraday of being the Yatagarasu in court. But once we entered the recess, Rel was dragged off by Mr. Faraday, which threw my plan into a complete mess. I chased after them and eavesdropped on them through a crack in the door. That Rel caves to only two things: money and authority, just as all thugs do. I feared my plan was going to be ruined if Mr. Faraday held on to Rel any longer. Plus, if I had let them continue on the way they were, I would have been found out. That's why I had no choice. I had to kill them both.
But didn't you say that you despised criminals?
But do I really?
You. Have you forgotten about the KG-8 incident too?
Maybe. What sort of woman would...
So then was it your plan to kill Mr. Faraday with the very evidence that you sent?
Huh. Well, I had a good idea of what Mr. Faraday was going to do. I anticipated that Mr. Faraday was going to prove that Rel wasn't the Yatagarasu by using this Yatagarasu's key as evidence, and that he would bring it with him. Which is why I thought to use the knife portion. The weapon as well disguised as this, no one would be the wiser. Because who in their right mind would think something like this could be a weapon? I casually entered lobby number 2 on the pretext that I had to talk to with Mr. Faraday. And in order to get in with him, I pretended to be worried about something. He then let me hold the Yatagarasu's key, just like that. He never noticed that I had changed the key into a knife inside the plastic bag. And he didn't have the chance to take note of the knife that took his life.
How could you kill him?
I knew him for a long time, you know. At the very least, I thought to give him a quick and painless death.
But if you killed Mr. Faraday first, then there was no need for you to kill Mr. Rel as well.
I believe I mentioned why. I believe I mentioned why when we were placing Detective Gumshoe under arrest. Something about having accidentally created an eyewitness, and how that led to the killer to think about setting them up as though they'd kill each other.
And the trick of the surveillance tape.
Yes, I hadn't actually planned to use a gun. The risk was too high at that to be caught. Hold on. I'm getting text from... I'm getting a text from Show. One sec. This is like roommate stuff. Okay. The risk was too high that I'd be caught. However, that's when I remembered the existence of that surveillance tape. Which is why I had Rel help me set up the crime scene. After all was said and done, I rewarded him for his hard work with a bullet. Misuse well, see, I don't know. Here's the thing, I don't know the full story. There's the reason this is no spoilers, because I have not played this before.
You're a defense attorney, aren't you? How could you betray a client?
Client? If you want to talk about who was a client to who's first, it was me. I was the client in the murder of the Kodoban embassy staff member, Dead Man.
You ordered a hit job?
You still haven't figured it out, have you, Mr. Bad? I had Dead Man killed because he was about to give away info about the smuggling ring. Now, who exactly do you think would benefit from such an assassination?
It can't be. You're...
That's right. I'm a member of the smuggling ring.
How could this... Don't mean you're working nanny coaching too, do you?
Maybe, maybe not. Guess you'll never know. The Yatagarasu claims to be noble, but you're just a cold-blooded murderer. That's right, little girl. The Yatagarasu is just another killer. Oops.
Quiet. You! Yatagarasu! You can run from the law, but you'll never escape it. So just humbly accept the judgment of this court.
Hey, Edgeworth? Did you know? Yatagarasu has 3 legs. Do you know why that is? No? Well, let me tell you. It means that the Yatagarasu has more than one razor-sharp way to do her work. She had a holdout pistol. You really are too naive, Edgeworth. You even handed the Yatagarasu's key right to me without a second thought. Everything may not have gone according to plan, but I'll still gladly take it.
You mean the key was your real target?
And even after I gave you such a great advice, didn't I tell you to always keep a good eye on a criminal? Or you may regret what comes of your negligence?
You two, get down! But, buddy, I can't move.
Hey, mister, to your right!
You! Are you all right, Francesca?
I'm perfectly fine, Miles.
Her voice is shaking, but it looks like she's unharmed. Where did Kay go? That's a gunshot. September 10th, 7 p.m. District Court, courtroom number 3. Sorry, but it looks like she got away. I called the precinct. they should have a perimeter set up soon. Detective Bad, are you alright? I heard a gunshot. I'm okay. Just got another hole in my jacket. He may say he's fine, but he looks quite shaken. But more importantly, boy, Mr. Edgeworth, Miss Von Karma, are you two hurt?
I'm absolutely fine.
I'm also alright, thanks to Kay. Speaking of Kay, where is she? I don't know, she just sort of disappeared. I'll go look for her. Oh, and hey, Detective Gumshoe. Yes, sir! Detective Bad, sir! I'm sorry I doubted you. Don't worry, sir. It's not your fault. Well, I lied to you guys too, after all. I heard about what happened. Kay. Lying while giving testimony is still unforgivable. But in this case, you're protecting Kay and her feelings. Looks like you just might have what it takes to be a real detective.
Yeah!
Now don't you ever lose that detective spirit, okay? You got it, Pops!
Wait, Pops? Watched one too many detective dramas recently, have we?
We just single-handedly destroy the cherry atmosphere with one snarky comment. I should get back to the investigation. I swear, I'll catch you if it's the last thing I do. Be careful, Detective Bad, and take care. Thanks. Well, I'm off. Maybe we'll run into each other again someday.
When do we get a Gumshoe game? I would love a Gumshoe game. Are you kidding?
Thanks a bunch, pal. Hey, you're the best. You really did find the truth out behind everything. Yes, well, I'm glad we solved everything before you were taken to prison.
I can't believe how much trouble I caused you with my testimony, Detective Gumshoe.
That was no problem, really. I mean, I lied too, so I didn't help anything. It's really not your fault, Your Honor.
Well, even if we didn't have his Honor's testimony, I think that lawyer would have found another way to get you convicted on her behalf.
Yeah, I can't believe I was about to get fired during my first week as a detective.
A hybrid investigation street beat-em-up game? Huh. That would be interesting. But also, I imagine Gumshoe... I just imagine Gumshoe is the biggest, most lovable dude. So, like, would he star in a street beat-em-up, is my question?
Well, so long as you're not fired. You should work hard. Give all that you have. Perform your duties well. Oh, and one more thing. Kayla's a present for you, with me. She did? Oh, what is it? What was it that Kayla for me? The proof of their friendship?
It's a Swiss roll. It's a Swiss roll. It's a Swiss roll.
Take that! It's a courthouse special Swiss roll.
Can I really have it?
Yes, it's a present meant for you, after all. Thanks a bunch. You have no idea how happy this makes me, pal. I'm gonna eat this right now. Sure, go ahead. Swiss rolls Detective Gumshoe and Kay bond together. Well, the one Kay saved never reached her father. It would appear that her sentiments have touched the heart of this detective.
He's so happy it's as though he's having a welcome back celebration of his own.
Well, I was asked by Kay to give it to him. Woo! That was good, pal. I can't believe I got to eat 2 of these delicious things in one day. It's like I'm a Swiss roll paradise or something. I gotta thank Kay myself. Hey, wait. Where is she?
Gumshoe dating Sim Wen? I will pay so much money.
You only noticed just now. Was his mind not present when we discussed her earlier? Detective Bad left to go search for her earlier. Maybe you should go join him. Yeah, you betcha, pal. I'm gonna go help him. Oh, but first. You know what, pal? Actually, I guess I shouldn't be so rude with you anymore, huh? I'm gonna stick right by your side from now on, Mr. Edgeworth, sir.
Look at him.
I sense nothing but a most troublesome relationship from that ominous statement.
We should go home too, Miles. We have to hurry and report what happened to Papa.
Agreed. Well, I'm afraid we must be going now, Detective. Roger, sir. And don't you worry. I'll investigate the next case we're on real well. I'll, be counting. The scent of trouble is definitely in the air. Thus, like a bad dream, my first outing at court came to a disturbing end. A few months later, I was finally able to properly stand in court as a prosecutor. But the detective in charge of the investigation was, as I dreaded, Detective Gumshoe. After that, he became my direct subordinate. I have tried, but words fail to describe the immeasurable suffering he has caused me. But I suppose that's just how things are. As for the little girl who suddenly disappeared, she's now...
Back here. So, do you remember now?
Yes, I remember everything. Kay, it's been a while. Kay, you sure grew up a lot.
Of course. Thank goodness. I thought you two had totally forgotten about me.
You know, I was really worried about you after all that. Where have you been all this time?
Gummy, I didn't know you cared. After my father died, I went to go live with my mother's relatives. They lived really far away, so I wasn't really able to come back here all that much.
Oh, is that what happened? Well, I'm just glad you're all right.
So, does it all make sense now?
You betcha it does. You betcha it does.
Oh, and you know what? I was going through my father's bookshelves recently, and...
Hold it!
Actually, there are still a number of things that don't make sense, Kay. First of all, why did you come all this way to see me? And second, why are you calling yourself the Yatagarasu? The Yatagarasu's Callisto Yu, the woman who killed your father.
No, you're wrong. The real Yatagarasu was my father.
Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu.
Like I said, I was going through my father's bookshelf recently, and I found a secret diary hidden among his books. I have no regrets in choosing to walk the path of the Yatagarasu. That was written in his diary. That's how I know for sure.
But that's impossible.
What's that look? You don't believe me?
It wasn't just the expression on my face. I clearly said it was impossible just now.
Alright then, how do you explain this?
It's a way of disarming any security system of the user's choosing.
Yep, that's Little Thief. Truth be told, this is the Yatagarasu's greatest secret. This little gizmo is used by my father.
Wow! Mr. Faraday wasn't just a great prosecutor, he really was a great thief, huh?
Yeah, my father worked really hard to steal the truth. But he was killed, and the Yatagarasu is no more. But despite that, the Yatagarasu has been spotted again recently.
Someone other than you.
Here, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a look at this article.
The Yatagarasu sent an embassy a calling card.
Yeah, meaning this person's a fake. I'm almost certain that the Callisto Yu lady is behind this. Because the real Yatagarasu would never send something like a gaudy card out. She murdered for the sake of killing? No. Callisto Yu definitely is covering up, because the Yatagarasu had to be on the case that if Mr. Faraday was after the smuggling ring and also the Yatagarasu was a thief of justice, right? He was a vigilante. And then, daylighted as a prosecutor. So, Callisto Yu absolutely must have figured out that Mr. Faraday was the Yatagarasu and had to silence him. So she killed him. because she knew the Yatagarasu, or Mr. Faraday, was gonna spill the beans, as it were.
The Yatagarasu did send a white card along with anything to be publicized. That's what Detective Bad told me 7 years ago, if memory serves.
Well, as soon as I heard the news, I got all wound up and knew I couldn't just let it go. So, I searched you out so I could obtain the truth behind the Yatagarasu. Because if anyone can help me find it, I figured it's you, Mr. Edgeworth.
So you're saying that I have your father's and Mrs. Yu's identities backwards?
Yes, because the real Yatagarasu is noble to the end. And I want to revive the real noble Yatagarasu. If I don't, Father will never be able to rest in peace.
Okay. Hey, you're so honorable. I don't care what anyone else thinks. I'll always be here to cheer you on, pal. Even if you are honorable, a thief is a thief. And if you're plotting to commit a crime, then I'm afraid I can't be complicit. Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, you guys are not making it easy for me. Who am I supposed to support now?
Mr. Edgeworth, what I want from you is not to steal something. What I want is the arrest of that evil woman.
That evil woman? You mean Callisto Yu?
I think it's too hard for me to catch her all by myself. But I thought that since you were able to expose her for who she is, then maybe... Please, Mr. Edgeworth, can you help me?
Come to think of it, I do believe I owe you.
Huh? Owe me for what?
When Miss Yu made her escape, it was you who saved my life. Furthermore, you helped me with the investigation today. I'm not so rude as to leave favors unrepaid.
Then you mean?
Yes. That case has been weighing down on my soul ever since that fateful day. Perhaps the time has come to settle things, once and for all. If you don't intend to soil your hands in a crime, then I believe I can help you.
Mr. Edgeworth, thank you!
Yay, Mr. Edgeworth, sir!
Yeah, it sure is, Gummy.
Even though he had completely forgotten about her until just now. What is with their chummy relationship?
Yeah, Case Scarf is a wing. Character design in the Ace Attorney games has always been really, really, really good.
The great thief Yatagarasu. After all that time, the true identity of the thief sank back into the darkness. Byrne Faraday, Callisto Yu, and Kay Faraday. The phantasmagorically changing identity, the great thief Yatagarasu. And the Yatagarasu's real goal. It would all come to light the day after I made that promise to Kay.
Hell yeah, turnabout ablaze. Wait, is this the final case? Chat, I gotta know, is this the final case? I need a definitive yes/no. Someone look it up for me, please. It is? Okay, so for those of you who haven't been around, it is a tradition, and one that I am going to uphold, that I always do the final case in one sitting. One day, no stopping. Except for, breaks and whatnot so I don't kill my voice. So, no, you're saying this isn't the end of stream. This was only an hour and 3 minutes. Do we get a highlight of it like yeah, I forgot to highlight the Apollo Justice one, which I am not happy with myself about. But so this will be set to a Saturday. Now here's the thing. Here's the thing. I forgot what I was saying. I was reading chat. Shit. I saw Castlevania and now I'm confused. No. So, for Trials and Tribulations, that one's up still. Because I started with the finale for the Ace Attorney trilogy myself. This Saturday or next, I'm gonna have to schedule it. I'm gonna have to plan it out. We'll actively have to plan this out and change it up. Because, like, it'll have to be on a Saturday. But oh yeah, I was gonna say, the 24-hour Mega Variety streams are also in turmoil recently. I know I said I was bringing them back monthly, but the dealio with those is that it's an entire day. It's an entire 24 hours, right? And I can't really fit one in this month due to my schedule. And next month is up in the air. So I'm Jay. Yeah, what's up, Night Dove? Do I want to know how long this case is? Are we looking at, like, the length of 1.5? The one that Mastek's on right now? What? How long is this? Is it, like, the longest case or something? Six to 7 hours? That's fine. The final case... Listen, if you look back at the, Trials and Tribulations, highlight, that was 12 hours. I took 12 hours to do that shit, chat. That was 12 hours of non-stop voices. I'm ready. I mean, I gotta prepare. But yeah, no. I don't think we'll stop stream. I think I'll just, pick something else, just random. We'll go for a little bit longer. I was planning on this to be sort of a shorter stream. Anyway. What did Zach yell? Hold on. Whatever. But yeah, no. I think Zach's just yelling at something. I don't know. I have no clue what the fucker's doing. But... Where are my fucking subs dead, is what he said? Gotcha. Oh, because he can't distinguish colors. Yeah. Yeah, Zach's colorblind. The bitch. But no, let's, alright, moving the desk down. Alright. And then we'll change it up here. But, yeah, no. I'll also put an announcement up real quick. We're just gonna chill out here for a bit then. Because, we'll be saving that. And I'll be sure to make a big deal about it on the Discord. So if you're not in the Discord, join the Discord, because that's where I talk about what my plans are. So join the Discord. Okay. I think I got that point across. We'll turn on music again.